finally what happened. So he ran over the spikes. He's slowing down. The spikes won't immediately deflate the tires or anything of that nature. He'll still be able to drive, but eventually the air will start to come out and he'll have to come to a stop. Picking up some speed here, Euclid at Valencia. So finally, after about 7 spike strip attempts, he finally drove over 2 of them. So I don't know if it's affecting both sides of the car or just the right side, but as time goes on, we'll start to see maybe some sparks flying, maybe the tire treads start to disintegrate, and eventually he could get down to the rim. So we'll see what happens here as time progresses. Again, spike strips don't immediately pop the tire or anything like that to where it would immediately bring the pursuit to an end. So we likely still have some time if this person decides to continue to evade the authorities. And as I widen out the shot, it'll really give you a look at the full pursuit package here, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 units of the CHP in addition to the airship overhead. He's starting to lose control of the vehicle, though. You see a little smoke there coming. You see those tires starting to act a little strangely there in the back. If you look at that rear driver's side tire, it looks like the tire tread is beginning to go. So exactly what we thought would happen with those spikes is what is happening here on Orange Thorpe and Pacific. We're still in Fullerton, not far from the 91 and the 5 freeways, but with a car like that, I doubt he'd want to get on the freeway now. Barely has any control of those rear tires. Coming up to Brookhurst here. And he may be turning in here, so let's see what he does. This is the, should be the 99-cent store parking lot. Maybe widen out? Yep, sure enough. So it's the 99-cent store parking lot at Orange Thorpe and Brookhurst. So this parking lot is the 99-cent store on the front side, and then the back side is the 17th door. But it looks like he was able to make his way out onto the street, so now he's on Brookhurst. I'm hearing that they have permission to pit, so let's see if it happens. The unit getting into place, gonna kiss that rear bumper there, cause him to spin. You see paper flying everywhere for some reason. Now the vehicle going in the direction of the officers, that will be considered an assault with a deadly weapon on a peace officer because he came right at them. And now slowly trying to get away because the vehicle really isn't doing much more for him. He's basically running on flats now. Very little traction control. I think he's only got one good tire. Headed back now towards the 99-cent store parking lot. Look at that rear tire, guys. Crazy. You can see him moving the steering wheel every which way, trying to get some control, but with tires like that, it's just not going to happen. Fortunately, the parking lot's pretty empty at this time of night, so if it ends here, it wouldn't be bad, folks, because at least it'd be out of the way, no one would get hurt. But he's not ready to give up, unfortunately. Civilian vehicle there, just kind of trying to get out of the way. They're saying it's a solo occupant, so they're saying it's a male behind the wheel, just one person in the car. He's going to give it another try on Brookhurst here. I'm hearing that they have the police canine ready to go as well, should his services be needed at the termination of this pursuit. And where those papers came from, that was really interesting. When the officer pitted the car, or did the pit maneuver on the car, rather, I saw paper flying everywhere for some reason. I don't know where it came from. But we just passed that point there. It was just on Brookhurst and Southgate. We're still in Fullerton, and you can see those tires holding on for dear life, really. You see the speeds there, under 10 miles an hour. He's trying to do whatever he can to get away. But that vehicle is not going to cooperate looking like that. And unfortunately, the saddest part is this vehicle doesn't even belong to this person. It's likely a stolen car. Officers are saying that he's riding on all four rims now, so those spikes got every tire. Initially, we weren't sure. It seemed like maybe it was just going to be one side, but sure enough, it's all four. But he's chugging along here northbound on Brookhurst through Oak. Eventually, Brookhurst comes to an end here. It comes to an end at Commonwealth. Okay, here we go at Valencia. There's the fire station there on the left side of the screen. But he's going to proceed straight through here on Brookhurst. Again, I'm hearing on the CHP scanner that there's just one male adult behind the wheel. So at this point, it seems like there are no passengers. It is simply the male driver. And I'm hearing that the officers are pit approved. They're allowed to do it, but they're saying he's going too slow. So it's the opposite end of the issue we were having earlier. He was going too fast, and now he's going too slow. Ideally, you want him to go about 35 miles an hour because you'll get enough momentum to cause him to spin. You saw what happened the first time they tried a pit maneuver. Because he was going relatively slow, he was able to drive right out of it and drive right towards them, which is never good. He'll likely get a assault with a deadly weapon charge for that one when he came at the officers in his vehicle. And that was near Brookhurst and Orangethorpe. So continuing here on Brookhurst, again, it's going to come to an end at Commonwealth, which is coming up here in the next quarter mile or so. If he goes left, that's going to put him towards Fullerton Airport. If he goes right, that's going to put him into mostly commercial area of Fullerton. But it looks like he's going to go left, which is going to be west, so that'll put him closer towards Fullerton Airport. So we've actually been on this street before when he drove by once earlier tonight. And there goes the tire. Just saw it go flying. So he lost one tire. I believe it's the tire from the rear driver's side. Again, the police canine is on standby. If they need him at the end, if this guy decides to not comply and get out of the car, then they will deploy the police dog if necessary. There we go. Look at that tire. It is barely holding on. He lost one tire. It actually was the front tire that he lost. And here goes the CHP unit moving into place. He wants to do the pit, but the one complaint I heard him make earlier was that the guy was going too slow, so he couldn't do it. There we go. Pushing the bumper. The car spinning out. And now he's going to try to drive right out of it like he did the first time. And he's going to be able to continue. So continuing westbound here on Commonwealth towards Gilbert. So that's the problem, folks. When the car is going too slow, you do a pit, but the vehicle's able to regain control and drive right out of it. That's why ideally you'd like a speed out of about 35 miles an hour for the car to eventually shut off, which is what happens. These modern cars, when they sense that they're spinning out at those speeds, they'll just turn off. But in this case, it just wasn't fast enough. And making that northbound turn now on to Gilbert. Again, we've been here before, so we're just, oh, there we go. He might spin out of control just on his own. He tried to continue north and is instead U-turning, kind of going around in circles here in the direction of the officers, going into the mobile gas station. Correction, 76 gas station. So perhaps this is it. Let's see if he pops out the other side or decides that this is where things are going to end. It may be over, folks. So we're going to bring News Chopper 4 Alpha around. Okay, we're at the intersection of Commonwealth and Gilbert. We're at the 76 gas station. The driver door is open. You see him there. He just dropped a black bag as he was stepping out of the vehicle. Hands up in the air. So it does look like he is complying. But what officers want to see is they want to see him step away from the car. They'd like to see him throw the keys out if possible, which I didn't see. And his hands are still a little too close to his body. So he needs to put those up into the air just to, there you go. That's exactly what they want to see. And now he's getting down on the ground. And again, we're bringing the helicopter around to give you a better shot. We don't believe that anybody else is in the car. All we had heard was that it was the male driver. But you never know. There's sometimes they think that there isn't anyone else, and then there's a car full of people. So they will treat it as if there are other people inside and make call-outs once they have the driver in custody. There we go. They're going to put the handcuffs on the driver. You see that one officer standing there with his taser. And another team of officers approaching the vehicle now. They have to clear the car to make sure nobody's inside. They'll typically also pop the trunk just to make sure nobody's hiding in the trunk of the vehicle. Again, this was believed to be a stolen Range Rover. Where it was stolen from or when, that is unclear to us. But we know that it started in the Anaheim area. Anaheim PD initially tried to pull this guy over, but he failed to yield, and the pursuit was on for a very long time, almost 2 hours, and finally coming to an end here in Fullerton at the intersection of Gilbert and Commonwealth, with really no injuries to report, at least none that we witnessed, no collisions. So even though it was a very lengthy pursuit, fortunately, it really ended as well as it could have. So that's going to be it for us for now. We are going to start to prepare now for the NBC4 News at 11 o'clock, coming up here in about an hour or so. We, of course, always thank you very much for your viewership. Once again, I'm Eliana Moreno, News Chopper 4 Alpha, along with my pilot, James Pollard. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you